Okay, so our topic this week is bisexuality. And I think we are called LGBT community for a reason. And that is we have all been outcast from society and looked down upon for who we choose to love. And I think that being bisexual is taking the ultimate stance on showing that we have the freedom and to love whoever we want, and that we can't help who we are attracted to necessarily. And so I think that our community should not discriminate against bisexuals, because we are all in it for the same plight, for the same reason, to gain equality and say that who we love shouldn't impact our rights as a person. And bisexuals, they are taking the ultimate stance, like I said, because they are saying, I don't want to limit my options for love. I'm attracted to both female and male. And so I want to be able to choose for myself who I choose to love. And that is fine. And love is fluid sometimes. We should love people by the person and not necessarily the gender. And so I think that's a good reason why we shouldn't discriminate against bisexuals, because that is what our community is about, is loving who we want. And it's really hateful to try and discriminate against one group and the LGBT community if we're all in it for the same cause. And I know when I was first, discovering who I was and coming out and everything, I had an amazing experience with a woman, and that set it off for me that, yes, I will embrace this about myself, that I do like women. But then on the other hand, there was all the social pressure. And then my friends all had boyfriends, and then they were kind of making fun of me and stuff like that about why I didn't like anybody and things of that nature. And so I started dating a guy who had all the qualities that I wanted to be. He was a guitarist, he was really down to earth, he seemed really cool. And so I started dating him for a while. And it didn't end well, of course, because he was a person I wanted to be and not a person that I wanted to be with. But I remember a lesbian that I knew, I was sitting right next to her on the couch, and then she started talking negatively about bisexuals, saying how they were dirty and confused and they should just pick one way or another, because she wasn't going to recognize them as a lesbian if they went out with males and things of that nature. And that really hurt. That really hurt, because I was discovering who I was, and I was discovering the type of person that I wanted to be with. And so I don't think that should be the case for any bisexuals or any people who are undecisive about which gender they like the most. And so I think don't discriminate against bisexuals, because they're just being who they are, and they're just free to love whoever they choose. And I think that's great that they can stand up for themselves like that and say, you know what, I'm indecisive about which gender I like the most. And love is fluid, so I'm just going to pick either gender, whichever person I feel attracted to, whichever person is the right person for me. So I think that's great. So don't discriminate against bisexuals. Don't discriminate against any group in the LGBT community, because we're all in it for the same thing. So yeah, that's what I have to say. See you next week.